Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. So today we're going to talk about the psychology about why we love or hate horror. I think it's kind of interesting topic, so let's start. So one reason we consume horror is to experience simulation, exposure to terrifying acts, or even the interpretation of those acts can simulate us both mentally and physically in opposing ways, negatively in the form of fear and anxiety, or possibility in the form of extension or joy. For instance, watching horror videos simultaneously activates both types of stimulation, with the most pleasure experienced at the most fearful moment. The biochemical inside our bodies also change when we consume horror. Fright can trigger the release of adrenaline, resulting in heightened sensations and surging energy. Another we seek horror is to gain novel experience. Apocalypse horror films, for example, allow us to live out alternative realities, from zombies outbreaks to alien infestations. Some novel experiences can even contribute to our sense of accomplishment, like visiting a notorious haunted house, being adventurous in the ways make us feel more worldly or daring. Um, Lastly, horror entertaining may help us satisfy our curiosity about the dark side of human psyche. After all, in a while, we might know have the opportunity to get known Hannibal Lecter or wander the streets during the purge. As an inherently curious species, many of us are fascinated by what our unconscious capable of. Observing storylines in which actors must comfort the worst parts of themselves serve us as a pseudo-character study of the darkest part of human condition. When can we desire pleasure from consuming horror? Research suggests that we must possess by psychological protective frame to be able to derive pleasure from being horrified. There are three different categories of such frames. First of all, we need to believe that we're physically safe and safety frame. For example, the evil entity in the movie might be consuming terrifying acts in front of our eyes. We can derive the pleasure from the horror as long as we believe that the evil entity is physically distant from us and hence cannot cause harm to us. If, however, we start to believe that evil entirely is coming out of the screen to hurt us, then the experience will no longer be fun. Secondly, the second category of protective frames involves detachments whenever we can physically detached from a horror experience when we see a psychological murderer chatting down a bloodied victim in a film. We can activate physiological detachment by reminding ourselves that they're just actors and great acting is what it happened on the screen. Third category of protective frame involves our confidence in controlling and managing as the danger we encounter. If we visit a haunted house, for instance, and a realistic looking bloodthirsty zombie charge us, we can still derive pleasure from the encounter if we feel confident about overcoming the danger. Research suggests that absence of any of these psychological protective frames in the moment reduce the preference for horror consuming, which may explain some people some people away from spooky movies, books, or events. Why loves horror more? There notable individual difference in how which attracted is consuming a horror. Some research indicates that people with a higher sensation thinking, trait a stronger need for experiencing thrill and excitement tend to seek out and enjoy horror-related experience more. Those with a lower sensation-seeking trait might find those experiences unpleasant and avoid them. Relatedly, the trait of opposement to experience or the need to engage in imaginative activities is also a prediction of horror constipation. A stronger openness to experience trait is associated with increased affinity towards horror. In addition, individual differences in empathy are associated with enjoyment of horror. Those who are not so empathic can enjoy horror more. This is because those with a higher level of empathy tend to feel more negatively about the distress situations others experience, like people being intimidated by devious murder in a film. Gender and age also appear to matter. One survey found that on average younger individuals tend to be more attracted to the scary genre. Men are more likely to be fans of horror than women, and women, worse, men like different aspects of horror experience. It is a woman may enjoy a horror movie more than if it offers a happy ending. The evil entirely ends up destroyed, whereas men may enjoy a horror movie more when it loaded with intensely terrifying acts. Lastly, through our research, we analyzed movie box office data of 82 countries. We discovered that the preference for consuming horror may differ across the stage of economic development. We found that individuals from countries with a bigger GDP per capita consumed horror movies to a greater extent, but the same pattern was not observed. For other movie genres such as romance, the results of our subsequent study suggest that this pattern occurred because lacking financial resources can degrade the psychological protective frame needed for horror enjoyment. Are there any benefits to consuming horror? Beyond the pleasure we get from the scary entertainment, consuming horror may yield a few hidden benefits. So, such benefits as cata- uh, catalyst for falling in love. Research suggests that consuming horror, watching a horror movie, then the horror theme park together with a date may fascinate feelings of romance. Why? Co-experiencing horror, like a non-stopping pounding heart evoked by scary scenes, can add to the excitement we feel toward each other. Conduit for social bondings, consuming core in groups is a great way to bond and connect with our friends and family. Research suggests that such bonding is linked to oxytocin, which is often realized when we are in threatened situations. This hormone fascinated feelings of uh, closeness and family among the group members. Maybe it's time to test this out with a horror of my with your teammates. Post-horror relaxation, why we feel heavily stimulated during a horror experience, a sense of relief arrives after a positive consummation of the experience. The evil gets obligated, triggering the release of endorphins in our brain. This group of peptides can make us feel relaxed and refreshed. Understanding the psychology of horror consummation allows us to enjoy the genre more. At the very least, we should get our psychological protective frame ready before soaking in all uh, the horror. Okay, guys, I think that's it for today. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.